Guelph and Kevin Collins from Springfield are the linesmen. The replay official is Mike Condon.
The keys for Team USA, in my mind, going into this game, they have had great success getting their game going, getting the first goal. They've got that wide speed. They will try to use it to keep Canada backing up. Now, 88-94 is Lindros and Shanahan. They're on the same line. They're big forechecking forwards. Lindros is playing the right wing. In fact, he's starting the game with Sakic playing center. Their job is to forecheck and knock the U.S. team backwards, bang in the corners. That's the game plan for them. We'll see if the U.S. club can withstand those two big forwards.
Well, this morning, Ron Wilson said we're going to put D.Hatcher out there when we can get him there, and as the home team, I think I can do that a lot whenever Lindros is out there with Shanahan, and that's exactly how they're starting. Leach took the pass from Hatcher and misfired for Guerin. Tapped by Joseph, spun around by Desjardins, chipped further and followed up, but loose off of Scott Stevens. Brought back ahead, turning with it is Lindros, but the shot snuffed out by the defensive Leach. Played back ahead, but off the skate of Tkachuk and back down. Tkachuk trying to get there, but Stevens gets there first, and so it's an icing call.
We talked about
Canada, John.
I'm sorry, Mike. We talked about Team USA and their keys. Let's look at what we think the keys are for Canada. Curtis Joseph is an outstanding tournament goal. In fact, in the Team Canada check by one of the clubs just yet.
Here comes Wayne Grettzky. Grettzky just backhands one wide. Richter with a handle there, firing it back around. Trevor Linden tripped up from behind on the play by John Leclere. Puck kicked off Smolinski. 20 seconds into their first game of the tournament, Team USA and Canada got in two fights. The only majors of the tournament thus far came out of that. Here's Leclere bringing it on. Good defensive play, though, by Niedermeyer, and so it is Trevor Linden of the Vancouver Canucks bringing it back for Canada. Shift change on for both teams, and the puck scaled into the seats. Let's check in downstairs with Jim Fox.
Thanks very much, quieter. The U.S., from the other standpoint, a very loose team. They're having a lot of fun here. In practice yesterday, two coaches collided in a 4-on-4 after practice. The hardest hit I've seen so far, Paul Holmgren, the assistant coach of USA, against the head coach, Ron Wilson. They both got up and had a big laugh about it.
Well, we've had just one hit, really, in the game so far, and that was a moment ago, and that was not a thundering one. So that part has been rather cautious here thus far, too. John was mentioning the cautiousness of the play. Pivoting with this is Scott Stevens and handing over to Desjardins. Desjardins played it on through. Rod Brindamour moving with it. Brindamour in the deep slot across now to Stevens. Scott Stevens with a pass in front, and it's spiked wide by Aiserman. Turned back to the point, but back down.
Big cautious play here. The only scoring chance goes to Canada. It's not resulting in a shot on goal, but that was a defenseman, Scott Stevens, in on the play. The defense, I think, right now, knowing that these teams are trying to play so cautious and smart, maybe with defense jumping in, they can create offense.
This is Bill Guerin, and along it's spun back in by Modano. So Curtis Joseph through the legs to the defense. And it's on for Lindros. Crisply ahead, walked on further and dumped back in by Joe Sakic, scaled around near Shanahan. Shanahan is there. D.Hatcher is not out on the ice to meet that group right now, but Chris Chelios is. Puck taken away by Lindros and flipped to the front, guided aside by Richter. Shanahan trickled it behind.
Nice option to have, huh? Either Leach and D.Hatcher against the big line of Canada. If you can't get them out there, then put Chelios and Suter. What a wonderful option that is, and for a coach, it's a dream option. The other thing, Mike, is a lot of dump-ins by the two teams. Goalies are going to have to be a major part of this game in the way they handle the puck when the other team fires it in once they cross center ice.
Lindros across. Paul Coffey up with it there, looking for a pass. Dumped one in front. Lindros curls the net and couldn't stoke it home. A tremendous defensive play by Matthew Schneider. Tipped on by Tkachuk. Walked right back by Doug Weight, but lost. Weight got it back again. Doug Weight around behind, and the pass went swirling through, and a drive is shrugged away by Joseph. Tkachuk trying to play that, but can't. Good check by Scott Young. Claude Lemieux outlets, and here comes Canada. M.Messье brings it on. Big drive, and a save made by Richter. Follow up by Blake, a shot on. Richter grabbed it. 4:25 left. A cautious start, but it's picking up, and no score.
Great defensive play of the game with Canada forcing the play. Watch Lindros take the puck. He's got a stuff in. Richter's gone. And there's number 5, Matthew Schneider, plays for the Toronto Maple Leafs, robbing Lindros of the puck. I think Team Canada has had a couple of real good shifts here. They're not giving up anything defensively, and they've been better offensively. In fact, they've had the 4 shots. Team USA, who to me, for the first time in the tournament, not making good passes, not making good plays yet. We're only 4.5 minutes in, but they look a little bit nervous.
Okay, so it's the jitters, John.
I believe so, yes. And here we have Mark Fossetto, the referee, talking to the Canadian bench, and I think he's probably saying, listen, when we make line changes here, you're the visitor. You have to put your players on the ice first, and then Team USA can match up with whomever they want. That also means that M.Messie, taking the face-off, has to put his stick down first before Doug Weight for Team USA does. The visitor first.
Canada will be the home team in Montreal for Game 2, and because of the better record, Team USA will be the team that will have home ice despite it being in Montreal for the 3rd game. Nice intercept and a toss behind by Adam Gрэйvz, pitched along by Richter. Back up the wall to be taken by Weight and spun back out. Scott Young able to wrap it in. It went off one of those glass supports and is bent to the slot. Here's Weight. Turnaround shot was wide. Fed along for Claude Lemieux from Team Canada. Right winger bringing it ahead. Has Messier and drops to him. Thrown well wide of Team USA's net. Moving to it is Niedermeyer. Dropped it back along for Gрэйvz. Tried to center a second time. Gloved along by Lemieux. Still, they battle for it, and a backhander had to be closed off by Richter. That came from Gрэйvz. Rushed back out of trouble. Thrown along by Blake. Picked up by Doug Weight. Walking it ahead. Drops a pass on for a shot that went wide by Ammonti. Kept alive and rolled around near Ammonti again. Rob Blake got the bump on him and control of the puck, too. Strong play for the big defenseman, Rob Blake. Lemieux pestered, and John Leclerc knocked it away and then sent Blake flying.
That's what Team USA needs. They need this type of a shift, a great scoring chance, and it looks like a penalty upcoming, a slashing call as the sticks get up. Claude Lemieux's involved. Boy, did Blake ever get hit by John Leclerc. Wow, that got the fans into it, and then all of a sudden Mark Fossetto, the referee, put his arm up, and Vincent Damphousse is going to go to the penalty box. That could be a reaction penalty. Team USA needed this. Canada was dictating. Doug Weight set up a great scoring chance to Ammonti, who fired the puck wide, and then Leclerc with a big banging body check. By far, Team USA's best hit of the first period here. Watch him move in. Blake has the puck, and Leclerc finished his body check. And then Damphousse took the penalty after the play. Mike, Team USA felt, or pardon me, Team Canada felt that Team USA in their win over Team Canada, that Team USA had the better hits in the game, the better takeouts. Canada wanted to be much more aware of that going into this game. Now here's a penalty by Damphousse away from the play, and Team USA has the power play.
4 for 18 in the tournament on the power play for Team USA. Canada has been good at killing them off, an 88% ratio of killing off penalties. Ahead now comes Leclerc, but an offside call, and so a neutral ice face-off to result. There have been some tremendous starts thus far in this tournament for Team USA. Couple of 26s. The last 2 games, 26 seconds is all it's taken for them to get a lead. Against Russia, and against Russia in the semis. Slovakia, really the only team that has gotten a 1-0 lead on Team USA thus far.
This may be the longest they've gone without a goal early. We're just about 6 minutes in, and Team USA has yet to register their first shot. They should now, knowing that they have the power play.
This is a team that has shown no lack of confidence yet. But John noticed the jitters here early. It's back to Chelios. Waits and then hands to Gary Suter. Flipped one that went off his stick. Hooked back to Chelios. Then over to Suter again. Suter shovels one. And that one blocked away by Joseph. Hoping for a deflection was Pat LaFontaine, and he was signaling for it. But right back ahead they come now on the penalty kill.
And Scott Stevens jump in. Penalty killing. He's the defenseman. He's on the play.
Off of Suter, hustling after it is Sakic, and it is worked back out, and they've got a man ahead. Oh, and the pass was blocked by Footer. LaFontaine would have been in all alone on Joseph. Back up with it, Lindros. Boom! Lindros in a heavy collision, and that with Gary Suter. 53 seconds to go, or check that 54 on the power play to Team USA.
Team USA, I think, rather disciplined. The power play unit was on the ice for 1 full minute. They got off, and now the Brett Hull unit gets a chance to go to work. Watch the hit right at center ice. Gary Suter and Lindros. Lindros went up to absorb the hit and ended up on top with his 230 pounds on top of Gary Suter. Lindros saw it coming. Suter had the hip out. Man, What I like here is we're seeing some good hits, but they've been good clean hits. Team USA being outshot 5-1. Canada during the first minute of penalty kill. Very good. Foot with the best play, though, intercepting the pass to LaFontaine.
7 face-offs in the game. Team USA has won them all. Keith Tkachuk bringing it ahead. Foot defending him. Adam Foot and Keith Tkachuk. It's feathered along, but in traffic off of Hull. Slammed back down the ice by Adam Gрэйвз. 33 seconds left on Team Canada's kill. Kevin Hatcher and Leach will be the point men. Tkachuk working with Waite and Brett Hull up front. It's on now to Brian Leach. Offside against Team USA.
And that's why you can get the sense that Team USA still hasn't settled in. Remember, in the first game these two teams played earlier in the tournament, Team USA had themselves a questionable first period. The feeling was they had the jitters. They had also had some time off. This looks very similar. Canada really looks settled in here. Maybe the best chemistry that we've seen them have in the games we've watched, Mike. And Team USA putting themselves offside on the power play. You can tell they're a little unsettled. Brian Leach, their coaches have said, has been a terrific captain for them in this tournament. And the one thing that's impressed them more than anything else is he's much better defensively. We all know that Brian Leach is a terrific offensive defenseman, but they've been very, very, very impressed with his defensive play.
Team Canada came to the practice this morning getting off the bus with a very grim demeanor. But Team USA does not have a collective nation looking over its shoulder so closely they can feel its breath. Team Canada has had.
The Canadians, they've had garlic breath lately too, by the way. That hasn't been nice, minty, you know, just brush the teeth breath. They've been a little bit unhappy at home.
Rod Brindamour to take this one. Brindamour lays a pass back out. Dom Foos fresh in the box, hands it across. Nice turn and take. Flip back ahead. Dom Foos is in, and a save made by Richter. A beautiful play by Trevor Linden across the way, but a save made by Richter, and now a penalty coming up to Team USA. It will be a slash. So Canada's potent power play gets its first crack when we come back.
Listen. Canada with an outnumbered rush, and Mike Richter with a bouncing puck challenged the shooter. The other man with Canada was open on the other side for a moment, then covered up nicely. So Richter's really reading plays well here. He stopped all 6 shots. Canada gets his first power play.
Wait on a slash at 7:56. Canada, the best power play in the tournament. The first shot comes in, was knocked down by the defense, picked up and thrown back down by Deadmarsh. All Coffey will work 1 point for Team Canada. Wayne Grettzky is out to handle chores up front. Eric Lindros will be up front as well as Dom Foos. The other point man will be a forward, Joe Sakic. It's rattled around near Lindros. Tipped it to the front, but it's cleared, though not out. Sakic kept play alive. It is Lindros twisting with it. Big Eric Lindros back down to Sakic. Wristed one that ricocheted to neutral ice.
Deadmarsh blocked that. He now limps to the player's box. He injured his right leg blocking the wrist shot from Sakic.
Chip back in near Richter. Richter whips it off the glass. And it escapes for a 2-on-1. Pat LaFontaine with Scott Young. Coffey back. Hit the post with the shot. Ricocheted off the crossbar, it appeared.
Absolutely. A rising shot by Patty LaFontaine. Bullseye away as he challenged the glove hand.
Lindros to Grettzky. Knocked down by LaFontaine. Grettzky yanks it along. 50 to go power play. Shanahan holding now for Canada. Brendan Shanahan pivots, lays it back for Niedermayer. Wrist one. Turned aside by Richter. Off of Richter. And another try by Grettzky. What a finesse move by Grettzky. What an answer by Richter. To the point now Niedermayer shooting. And that one blocked down by the defense. Thrown back down the ice by Young.
3 wrist shots from the blue line by Team Canada on the power play. 2 of them got through. Richter's there. And man, was LaFontaine close with a 2-on-1 shorthanded odd man rush. Hit the crossbar.
7 shots to 2, Canada. 12 seconds left on Canada's power play. Theo Fleury comes back. Fleury, the hero of the last game, threw one across the net mouth and getting a piece of it, Richter. Penalty time is almost up. Rolled across by Shanahan. Nice control by the defense, but then quickly lost again. Regathered. Help came for Chelios, and it's sent on back. Laid ahead off the stick of M.Messie. Brushed further by Fleury. Chelios back to play it. Matched up with Suter on defense for Team USA. The teams are back at full strength. 9:45 to go. First period, no score. Big shot by Leclere. Is tipped to the seats by Joseph.
completed. And then Leclerc, who has one of the hardest shots in the league, he really gave Curtis Joseph a tough time with that. One pass there already completed. Make that 2 passes. There's the third one. And then a big shot with a rolling puck that Curtis Joseph really fought off. Did a good job stopping the puck. Mike Richter's been very good here. He's seen 7 shots, stopped them all. Wrist shot from the blue line on the power play. Watch Grettzky from behind the net. He tried to bank it in off of Richter. Oh, man. Richter looked like he was on a trampoline getting out of the way.
Those two guys haven't practiced together like they will during the regular season in New York either. Good anticipation to even sense that was coming.
Grettzky does that a lot. He knows that sometimes goalies are off balance or guessing what he'll do with the puck, so he'll try to bank it in off the goalie from behind the goal line.
54 seconds of attack time for Canada on the power play that just expired. They had 1 shot, and we get an icing with 9:17 to go in the first period.
Thing about the 2-on-1 that Team USA had with LaFontaine on the puck. Here's the turnover right there. Correction. You'll see the turnover as Richter handled the puck nicely up the boards. The defenseman pinched. It's 2-on-1. LaFontaine's a right-handed shot. He's got a great shooting angle. The defenseman there, as you see sliding, stopped LaFontaine from a pass across. So he took the only option he had, which was to shoot it. Being a right-handed shot, he had a great angle. And Curtis Joseph was actually beaten on the play. The puck went off the crossbar goalpost and stayed out.
John, 10 years a goaltender in the NHL. What is that feeling like when that puck zings behind you but hits the iron?
You say to yourself, I played the angle perfectly. If it wouldn't have hit the post, it would have hit me. Right. One thing about Joseph and Richter, they both know that the glass here is not safe. We've already seen on one dump in by Team USA, the puck come back in front instead of going around the net. Richter has been staying in the net more than Joseph. I don't think he trusts the glass at all.
The face-offs are 8-3, Team USA. This one gloved down, played along by Bill Guerin. Tkachuk hit from behind by Desjardins. Puck nudged back in by Joe Sakic. Set by Richter so that D.Hatcher can take it. Hatcher and Leach, the defense combination now for Ron Wilson's Team USA. 8 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the first period of this game that is scoreless but eventful. 7 shots to 3 Canada. Off of Modano but corralled by Stevens. Brought on by Tkachuk. Massachusetts-born winger sent one that's tipped away from Modano by Stevens. Lindros headmans it on. Walked on further by Sakic. Nudges for Lindros, who speared it out of the air. Around behind. Carried to the corner by D.Hatcher. Strong defensive play by Hatcher, and back out rushes Modano. Gives over to Brian Leach. Leach hands it across. The return pass didn't come to him. Instead, Stevens, and now it's Canada's turn. Shanahan with a pass too far for Lindros, who chopped the stick out of the hands of Chelios. Now it is Foote flipping it around behind. Lindros couldn't come up with that one. Instead, it's Adam Gräiwz, but then the puck stolen. Team USA shifts from defense to offense. Right back they come, trying to work his way in, but unable to do it that time. On the wing was Brett Hull. Puck went off Messier, taken by Hull. Leading scorer in the entire tournament for anybody. Brett Hull. Good rock to the boards. Chris Chelios was taken in that time by Claude Lemieux. Here's Chelios firing a 90-footer that knuckled a little for Joseph. Sets it now for Foote. Pass went away for a big drive by Wade that was blocked out. Another shot, and that one went off the post. 2 pieces of iron for Team USA. Now it's Lemieux 1-on-2. Big shot eaten up by the blocker of Richter and played along by Matthew Schneider. Bouncing puck is thrown along by Wayne Grettzky. Controlled by Dom Foose. Tried to get Grettzky with the pass. That failed. Lifted back out again. Off the glove of Blake. Hustling after it, Denmarsh. Denied by Blake. Attack and resistance here in the first period with 6:55 to go and no score. Now Trevor Linden flips it back in. It caromed to Kevin Hatcher. Big defenseman out of Detroit, Michigan. Lifted it but not out. Puck skipped along to be played back along the near side. Jostled off was Denmarsh. But it is Kevin Hatcher again. Pursued by Linden, smacked it up the boards. Dom Foose taken out by Joel Otto, had to muscle it behind. Matthew Schneider helps it along further. Team USA able to get it as far as center ice. Schneider walking it back ahead. Delayed offside call. Team USA makes a change.
Well, these benches have to be sharp. A lot of changes on the fly. Not very many whistles, so you have to be very aware of who your man is when he comes to the bench, who replaces him. Both
D.Hatcher controlling, hooked a nice pass across. Here's Leclere in, but an offside call on Team USA. 5:57 to go, first period.
That's 52 red for Canada. Adam Foote put his stick down. The puck went off his stick, right off the goalpost. High, the same spot that Pat LaFontaine had hit earlier. Lindros has to get rid of Chelios, so why not chop the stick right out of his hands? Lindros tried to feed the puck in front and couldn't. We're seeing some good action here. We're seeing 3-4 minutes without whistles. A real good action.
Puck tipped along near Smolинski. Rod Brindamour close quarters to Aiserman. A little trouble there for Team Canada. Brindamour yanks it behind. Desjardins takes over there. Desjardins pass nearly flagged down by Ammonti. Now Team Canada having some trouble with the U.S. forecheck, but it's lifted out to Brindamour. Moves along with Fleury, plays it toward the corner. Brindamour will have to go in, and D.Hatcher there first to clear it around. Spirited back out, but just under the stick of Brian Smolинski. D.Hatcher knifed that one out of the air. Scott Stevens, former high school football player, captain of the New Jersey Devils, takes a pass from Foote. He was a linebacker. I guess that explains some of his hits, doesn't it?
Oh, I'll say.
Shanahan pawed at, taken out of the play by Guerin, and a penalty coming up. And it's on Team USA. The call is a hold. A power play to Canada as Guerin will sit. We'll be right. Feature on Team USA goalie Mike Richter. Highlights and more. Chelios and Lindros had quite an exchange earlier with the smack stick, and Chelios was protesting the referee Mark Fossetт about that, as you see the hold on Bill Guerin.
Yeah, Billy Guerin took his one hand off the stick, wrapped it around Brendan Shanahan, and pulled him down to the ice surface. Team USA's forwards trying to hold up both Lindros and Shanahan and not allow them to forecheck, but Guerin that time got caught for holding.
Shanahan, Lindros, Grettzki up front. Sakic the left point, Paul Coffey the right. Won by Team Canada to Coffey. Returns to Grettzki. Off the stick to Coffey. Joel Otto, one of the penalty killers.
And then you see Deadmarsh hitting Lindros too. Now on the right side, look at that. Big collision. Coffey and Deadmarsh. Coffey did his job in keeping the puck in. Then they went at one another, going to get a penalty. Now, what happened to Lindros here? Oh, come on. He took a slash to the outside of the leg from a one-handed slash from Chelios, and he dropped down. There's no doubt he was trying to draw an additional minor penalty. Whether it worked or not, I don't know, but he doesn't go down that easily very often.
Two members of Team Canada in the box. Two additional members of Team USA. We would get the idea from this, it'll cancel out and it'll still be a power play, and Guerin will have the outstanding minor. But let's check in with Jim Fox.
Guys, I'm just watching the game from down here, and I know you guys have been commenting about speed. Usually when you talk about speed, it's all offensive chances. The one thing I'm noticing, how quickly each team has to move the puck defensively, because they're right on top of you. The biggest asset for Team USA is their team speed. They're getting right in the face of Team Canada. And yesterday in practice, that's all the Team Canada practices. All they practiced was moving the puck, regrouping, breaking out of their own zone, picking up the puck, turning and passing it quick. Otherwise, the U.S. is right on top of you.
Canada will continue on its power play. Thanks, Jim. Both of these teams prepared in a number of ways for the start of this final.
Canada last night had a team meeting. Bob Gainey went over each and every player for Team USA, scouted them. Andy Murray and another assistant coach, he did the X's and O's, and then Glenn Sather, he did his thing, saying, listen, you better get them all before they get you. And I don't know if he was talking about only players or media or Canadian fans or what, but that was their meeting. Team USA met more today, this morning for a few minutes, and then at 6:30 tonight before the game. Their approach is a little different. They asked the players what they thought what they should do against Team Canada and their players. So they let the players have their opinions, I think probably to make themselves feel that they've contributed and that they feel good about what they were doing. Two different types of philosophies.
Chelios and Lindros had an earlier exchange, and this is the continuation of that.
We'll see here. The whistle had already sounded. Watch the stick go against the leg of the big guy. Then he thought about it, he looked, and then he went down like a big old oak tree. But he was all right. He got up and skated over the penalty box to try and force a penalty call against Chelios, or even more minutes.
He thought about it, and then he looked?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Didn't you? That was slow motion, I understand that, but you could almost see, I better look and see who did it, I better think about this, and I better go down and see what happens.
We know that a number of you are like I was years ago, sitting at home. You keep score. We want to get the penalties for you. Coffey and Deadmarsh roughing. Shanahan and Chelios. Shanahan roughing, Chelios slashing. 16:04 the time of those penalties. 25 seconds left on the power play for Team Canada. Eric Lindros there to get it. Off of Grettzky on back to Blake. Flip back in. Lindros hands it over to Grettzky again. Wayne Grettzky to the point. Big shot by Blake. Score! A deflection by Eric Lindros. A power play goal for Canada. It is 1-0.
Eric Lindros has been hit, and he has been hit a lot, but he's handled the hits. And as 3 Canadian players got along the near boards, the puck was put back to the point, and Lindros scores his second goal of the tournament by driving to the net with a stick down. There's Grettzky moving the puck back. Watch the good low shot by Blake. Now Lindros is there, little deflection. I believe he got it and not Dom Foose. It could have been Dom Foose, but I think it was Lindros. To the net, stick down, set the target, yes. And it went against the grain, back to his left, to the left side of the goaltender. 1-0 Canada on the power play. Lindros took another hit, Mike, along the boards, but still made the play. He is such a big power forward that he can get to loose pucks ahead of most people, take a hit, and still make the play.
The crowd has started the USA chant. Lemieux went after Hull. Puck tipped out of the air by Desjardins. Down to the ice, Messier ahead with the puck is Wade. Wade hammered to the boards. The puck flipped away from Messier, and going back to get it is Kevin Hatcher. 2:45 to go, first period. Canada leading 1-0. Lindros' second goal of the tournament, a power play goal at 16:50.
Both his goals, Mike, similar. Big hits or taking hits in the corner and then driving to the net and deflecting the puck in. Both his goals exactly the same in that respect.
Keith Tkachuk caught a stick up high. Mark Fossetт did not see it.
You're right. The whistle's for offside, called by Ray Scampanello. Fossettt did not see it. If the linesman make a call here, as Scampanello is now talking to Fossettt, I don't think there's going to be a penalty called, and Team Canada gets away with one here. Tkachuk was moving up ice. Watch him go after the puck. Dom Foose is there, and see the stick blade go right up into his chin. Now Fossettt, in defense of him, was back to the right, and he had to look through the back of Dom Foose and the back of Tkachuk and did not see what happened. If the linesman wanted to make a call, he'd call a major on the play, but the players appear to be all right and no call made. Now here's Lindros again. He had already made the play along the boards. Gretzky's there now. Look at that magic as the puck is back, and there's Lindros with the goal. Out of the corner, he puts the stick down to set the target, and Blake with a good low shot. Grettzky with another nice pass.
Blake gets the primary assist, and Grettzky the secondary on Lindros' goal with 3:10 to play in the period. We have 2:17 to go now in the first, and Canada having that 1-goal lead. Desjardins across for Canada, rolling it back in. Brian Leetch to play it for Team USA's defense. Trouble there. Richter had to brush it aside. Steve Yzerman along now to Brindamour. Rod Brindamour back to Yzerman, captain of Detroit. Steve Yzerman cruising in and shooting one that's blocked aside. Now it's Fleury chased to the corner by Smolинski. Yzerman rocked a little bit, then worked over with authority by D.Hatcher. Puck dropped along and Brindamour steps to it. Leetch right on him. Good cancellation there.
Canada has really put the pressure on Team USA's defense to this point. Shots are now 10-3 as the Team US club has not had their speed going like we've seen it in this tournament.
Here is Fleury. The old Fleury with a wrist shot turned aside by Richter. Another jab on the backhand was wide. Canada making a change in lines. 1:25 to go in the first period. Skipped off Amonti.
Mike, Team USA has hit 2 goalposts in this period, but this is by far, and we've watched most Canadian games live, this is by far the best that Team Canada's looked in the tournament. This is the best chemistry they've shown, the best forecheck, and they just haven't scored only on the power play, but they've really been the better of the 2 teams in this first period.
A 3-on-2 broken up just after it crossed the line. Back now comes Canada. Vincent Domfus of Montreal skips it in. Kevin Hatcher played it back over now. Schneider connects back up with Tkachuk. Feathers a little pass to Mike Modano. Modano in with a wrist shot. Fought off by Joseph. Rebound picked up by Modano. Trying to get away from Niedermayer. Tripped up on the play. There'll be a penalty coming up. It'll be against Niedermayer. And late in the first, Team USA will have a power play.
36.9 seconds to go. The original shot was high on Joseph. There was a rebound, and Team USA got deep to continue to fight for the loose puck and got there. That forced Niedermayer to take the penalty. There's already been the shot, there's already a rebound, and there's Modano with a turnaround, and Niedermayer grabbing a hold of him and then sweeping his feet out with his hockey stick. So even if Team USA doesn't score here, it'll give them something to build on during the intermission, something to be positive about going into the second period. And Glenn Sather knows he's had a strong first period. Now his team with the penalty killing ahead of them.
Niedermayer the trip at 19:23. Suter will be placed on 1 point. It'll be Chelios on the other for Team USA. Pat LaFontaine will be working up front for Team USA's forwards. Brett Hull will be out there as well, and likely Doug Waite.
Thing about Chelios and Suter being together, they play together with the Chicago Blackhawks. They're together as a unit all the time on the power play, so they know how each other thinks when they get into a situation like this with LaFontaine, who plays in Buffalo, Brett Hull in St. Louis, Doug Waite in Edmonton. It's a new unit except for those two guys on the blue line.
Gréaves and Messier up front for Team Canada. Stevens and Desjardins in back. Pat LaFontaine protests that he leaves. Doug Waite will come in, an experienced centerman in his own right. Won by Team USA, but tipped back out. Messier rushing for it. Mark Messier peels off. Little pass went into a U.S. pile. So Suter, and then Waite, and then Suter again. Chelios the hard around. Joseph with the stop. Sets for Stevens. Able to get help along the boards from Gréaves. 10 to go in the period. Suter's pass is over to Doug Waite. 5 to go. Waite with a heavy hit on Scott Stevens.
I think Ron Wilson, the USA coach, will spend part of the intermission talking to his team about their lack of team speed in this first period. It's something we didn't see. Canada was more determined and had a stronger period. Mike Richter, good in goal for Team USA.
We have a
USA a power play. Niedermayer's trip occurred with 37 seconds to go in the period. One of the keys of that power play will be that guy, Brett Hull.
Yeah, Brett Hull uses a stick that has the maximum half-inch curve on the blade. He says, and it's very interesting, he said, listen, the goalies all cheat with their equipment. Their pads are wider than they're supposed to be. Their gloves are too big. Why don't they allow the shooters to have blades that are curved more than a half-inch? Let us have the curve that we want. He's got 3 shafts that he uses. These shafts are aluminum. The stick blade slides right into the bottom of the shaft, and he uses those. Now, before the game, he had a gold shaft, a green shaft, and a blue shaft. The favorite one he has is a green shaft, but Easton doesn't make them anymore. So he's trying to find the shafts that he likes. He's so strong that when he whips the puck with those strong arms, those shafts bend, and he wants the proper flex. He had only 1 shot on goal in the first period. As you mentioned, Mike, he leads all scorers in the tournament, and he's had a great tournament. Wouldn't you like to see the old banana curves come back for the shooters?
Like his dad had?
Like his dad had, that's right. He's not a bad politician working these things.
No. Chopped along by Eric Lindros for shorthanded Canada, and it bounced right in front and had to be whipped away by Richter, and then he was tripped up as Lindros was skating by. Back up they come now. It's Keith Tkachuk able to nudge it behind before it was waltzed off the play by Desjardins. Puck kicks back out, and here's Joe Sakic ahead. 1-on-1, moving across with Leach.
Screen hit the outside of the goalpost to the catching glove side of Mike Richter, and then Chelios moved up on the play, on the power play, and just missed. Watch Sakic here, move to his right, and Leach has to stop and then move back to his left. Sakic lining up the screen. There's the shot, and it hit the outside of the goalpost in behind Mike Richter. And watch Richter move across. Might have even gone off the glove of Richter before the goalpost. Sakic works very hard during the offseason on that wrist shot. And then Chris Chelios, man, what a shot that was. And he seemed to have Curtis Joseph to one side of the net, but he missed on the stick side of Joseph on the ice.
Team's back at full strength. Puck dumped back in by Niedermayer. Blocked by Richter. Richter forced it back off. It skipped to the point. R.Blэйk fires, and that deflected wide off a Team USA stick. Amonti dropped it behind, and Leach took over. Leach for Team USA with a pass that went off of Lecler, brought on by Tony Ammonti, and the pass to Smolинski. Around in front, Lecler, a shot to save. Another shot, they score! D.Hatcher, tie game.
The flags are waving here now in Philadelphia. Leclerc right there by Joseph. But the rebound took Joseph away, and D.Hatcher had time to go to his forehand to score. If Hatcher just flips the puck on the backhand, he would have put it into the goalie. But the young defenseman went to his forehand with that long reach and had the open side. We're tied up at 1.
Leclerc and Smolensky the assists on D.Hatcher's goal. For Hatcher, it's his first point of the entire tournament. And it ties the game. Deadmarsh put it in. Joseph whipped it along. Th.Fleri tipped it. Brought out by Brinddamor. Now on to Steve Aiserman. Aiserman spun it around. Wrapped back over near Brinddamor. Tapped it around behind. Aiserman couldn't get it. Fleury could. Now to Aiserman. Steve Aiserman tried to flip it in front but failed. It's shuffleboard ahead. Joel Otto goes down on the lean of Aiserman. Brinddamor tucked a little pass back. Blake's pass came back. Has to be handled by Niedermeyer. Then along but through Aiserman. All right, now what do you notice about Team USA here in the second?
Starting to win some battles along the boards. Very impressed with Chelios and his honesty during the intermission in his interview with Jim Fox, and we'll talk about it as we roll along here.
It is Bill Guerin muscling behind. A pass came out in front right to Aiserman, and it's steered ahead. Desjardins' pass is cut. Rolling it back in is Tkachuk.
Already we're seeing better play by Team USA in the neutral zone. Then they can move into the zone and take the body like they just did.
Boy, that hit was on Desjardins, who works over Guerin. Keith Tkachuk with a thundering hit. Back up ice with it is Shanahan. Plays it across. Desjardins walks it on and just lays it gently in. A shift change on defense now for Team Canada. Desjardins comes to the bench and Adam Foote comes out. Pass is slowed down, taken by Sakic. He's got Shanahan. Sakic a shot, kick back. Another shot knocked down by the defense. Oh, Richter was strong and now here they come. Moving back in. It's Tkachuk. Save. Rebound went off Tkachuk and wide. Oh, Tkachuk was in alone. Bill Guerin yanks it out. Leads and drive. Knocked down in front. Getting a piece of that was Joseph.
Oh, baby. It's a holding call. I don't even know against who. Richter, sensational. Curtis Joseph kicking him out. We're still tied at 1. Holding, as we will see now, Keith Tkachuk on a breakaway. The second one he's had in the tournament. He has yet to score on breakaways. Curtis Joseph with a great save with a glove hand side. Again, watch Joseph, the glove hand side. He waited. He made Tkachuk make the first move, which he did. And Cujo with a fine save. And how about Richter prior to that? The kick save on Sakic.
Oh, yeah. Kevin Hatcher wrapped it around. It came all the way over to Doug Weight on this U.S. power play. Back to Leach, then to Weight. Leclerc jostling at the front of the net with Coffey. Weight controls, side of the net, a shot save, rebound, scramble at the front of the net. And the whistle and stoppage of play as it's covered.
That was Brett Hull on the side of the goal to the right side of Curtis Joseph. What he's hoping is that Joseph will leave the goalpost early and leave some space between the goalpost and the goaltender, as Messier and Doug Weight have some words. A good pass there by Weight, and there's the stuff-in attempt, but Curtis Joseph went down with his right leg and stick and took care of business nicely. Kept the puck away. Again, watch Joseph lean. See that little space between his body and the goalpost? That's what Brett Hull wanted to really try and put the puck right into that area, but Joseph is good. He's very good at leaning away from the post and stopping shots from the angle.
Hall Coffey was the man who lay down on the puck outside the goal crease. And so Brett Hull gets ready again. Weight on the draw. Canada controls. Stevens blasts it back off. Kevin Hatcher kept it from going the link, but it picked up by Messier. Moving in with Lindros. Messier to Lindros. Oh, and he couldn't convert. Now it's a 4-on-2 for the United States. They move it back ahead and shoveled on for Leclerc. Leclerc turning and bangs it back off the board.
Messier came back and just threw Doug Weight to the ice. Messier was up, tried to feed Lindros, and Messier was the first guy back, and he got away with one as he just manhandled Doug Weight in front of the referee.
This is Brett Hull bringing it on. Hull just twists and looks for a pass. Lifted through Weight, along for Leclerc. Hit a chick of the boards, and it is swept back out again. 53 seconds to go. On the power play to Team USA, and an offside on the steal by Aiserman. So 14:43 left in the second, and our game here at the Core State Center is tied at 1.
50 seconds to go on the Joe Sakic holding minor, and Team Canada had the 2-on-1 as Messier blew by Kevin Hatcher, tried to feed Lindros. That didn't work. And then Canada had to look at a 4-on-2 with USA having the puck, and Messier got back to help break it up.
So Brett Hull gets a rest. LaFontaine comes out to work with Tkachuk. It'll be Chelios at one point, Suter at the other, and Niedermayer and Tkachuk having a disagreement.
You're seeing both teams now really get involved in these scrums, and it looks like Tkachuk and Niedermayer are going to get minor penalties. Niedermayer thinks...
Modano pursued by Foot. Taken to the corner by Foot. Moving in is Leclerc. John Leclerc wraps it around Pat LaFontaine there. Slipped it along for Leclerc. Steamed it back to Chelios. Then over to Suter. Shoots one, and it's blocked right back to him. Strong play made by Aiserman, who went down. Puck fed over for Leclerc, but it kicked to Aiserman, and Aiserman held back enough that he couldn't send it the length. 20 seconds left on the power play. A mistake, and here's Aiserman alone. Save made by Richter. Oh my! Steve Aiserman walking in all alone.
And a penalty called. Not only was there a scoring chance, but Team USA took a penalty, as I believe Gary Suter will get the call. LaFontaine and Chelios ran into each other on the right side. Now watch right here as in comes Aiserman on a penalty kill, and what a penalty kill he had. Richter stays with him. Mike Richter's had a great one here, just a great one, and he makes the save. As you'll see now, Aiserman cut to the middle, looks at Richter, and Richter kept his hands wide of his goal pads, made a great save with a catching hand. Gary Suter took a penalty on the play. Aiserman earlier had blocked the shot from the blue line in his own zone. A real strong penalty killing shift for Team Canada.
Steve Aiserman last year with Detroit had 95 points. His team set an NHL record for the best regular season performance, 131 points. And he was not even used in the first 2 games of this tournament by Canada.
Well, he had that sore knee that he injured earlier. Was almost going to go home, Mike, and just rehab the knee to get ready for Scotty Bowman and the Detroit Red Wings in their regular NHL season, but he decided to stick around and work on the knee and hoping he'd get back in. Sure enough, he's in. He scored a big goal against the Slovakians earlier in the tournament. There he just finished with a great shorthanded shift.
2 guys for Canada who have meant everything to their getting to this point are Aiserman against Slovakia and Th.Fleury with the double overtime winning goal against Sweden. And Curtis Joseph. Back ahead now comes Otto. Otto fed one in front, but it is controlled by Wayne Grettzky, who is back. Now the power play is on for Canada. Grettzky lobs it in. Richter watches. Leach moving in. Defended Lindros. Good hit by D.Hatcher. Puck controlled and fed out to Sakic. Banned on the shot, and it's kicked back by Denmark, but controlled by Coffey. Now Sakic. Grettzky. Pass is snuffed right out. Leach tried to trickle it further, but it's brought back by Grettzky and then on to Dom Foos. Dom Foos tried for Grettzky, checked off, and a pass misfired for Lindros. Now Sakic centers, and it went away from Dom Foos, picked up by Leach and sent back out.
Grettzky has tried to make 3 passes on this power play. He's had no time at all to make the passes. If you give him time and space, he'll make it work. Team USA is crowding him, and he can't make a play. He just doesn't have time.
Down went Chelios, and off will come Sakic.
The second time he's taken a minor penalty this period. He doesn't take many penalties at all, ever. And here, he was involved with the goal net, too, and a penalty to Joe Sakic. He'll go to the box.
So both teams will be a man short for 57 seconds, and then it will be a Team USA power play.
See Sakic right there grabbing a hold of Chelios. Chelios spun around, and down he went. Fossetto on top of the play, a holding call. You just don't see Sakic take many penalty minutes ever, period. And here he is with 2 minors. He's taken 2 minors in 1 period here in the second.
6 penalty minutes overall in the tournament now for Joe Sakic. So in 5 prior games, he only had a minor.
He's taken 2 here in less than 7 minutes of the second period.
Well, a goalie and 4 apiece. Matthew Schneider and Chelios to work along with Ammonti and Brian Smolinski. Smolinski figured on the U.S. scoring play, getting him an assist with Leclere on the goal by D.Hatcher. It'll be a goalie and 4 for 50 more seconds. Ammonti ahead. Has Matthew Schneider. Schneider in, and a shot flew wide. Chelios flipped. It's off of Schneider, who retrieves. Schneider finesses back over. A shot went off the glass from Ammonti. One-timer by Chelios, and that one knocked down. They try to lead ahead for Messier, but the pass from Scott Stevens was deflected.
And Team U.S. defense, very mobile and could be extremely offensive. They are jumping in the play a lot more this period than what we saw in the first one.
Grettzki and Dom Foose up front for Team Canada. Desjardins back with Scott Stevens on the defense. In 12 seconds, the power play will begin for Team USA. 1-1, the game is tied. Canada struck first. Latter part of the first period, the U.S. tied it early in the second. Adam Foote with a shot that ricocheted, and now a 2-on-1 developing. Hall with LaFontaine. Brett Hall moving in. Try to pass, and Stevens went sprawling across the ice to block it. Long pass skipped away from D.Hatcher. Power play on for Team USA. 48 seconds to go in it. They try to break this 1-1 tie. Pat LaFontaine's pass is on for Hall. Tipped it on for John Leclerc. Fires it around behind, but it escaped the reach of LaFontaine. Started back by Brindamor, and a 2-on-1 for Canada. It's Coffey moving in. Coffey's pass ricocheted off Suter. Good hustle by LaFontaine to get back. Tapped along for Leach. Leach safely to Suter. 18 to go on the power play. Brian Leach bringing it ahead. Team USA making a change. Leach moves in, drops to Guerin, and a rising shot up the glass. Tipped along further. Canada brushes to Brindamour. 5 left on his team's penalty kill, and that takes care of it. Kevin Hatcher goes back. Sakic is out of the box. Middle stages, second period of the 1-all tie. Schneider flies it to the glass. Curtis Joseph out to wheel it along with the stick. Kevin Hatcher tried to play a 4-man collision. Emerging from it is Scott Stevens, bumped off by Deadmarsh, but he got help from Desjardins. Then Claude Lemieux, and then Messier. Messier checked as Bill Guerin got back to play and now controls offensively. Guerin's pass is ahead for Modano. Moving in, and the shot is kicked out. Rebound! And it came across the net mouth.
Mike, is that the wide speed Team USA wanted? Fire the puck wide and show speed. That's exactly what the U.S. club is doing now.
It is Guerin rolling it along. A shift change for his team now. Deadmarsh staying out. Mark Messier for Canada with a pass ahead that's brought on by Claude Lemieux. Lemieux a shot, and it's off Richter and then spiked to the glass by the defense. Taking it is Chelios. Moving it back out. Chicago-born defenseman flipped one that went off Ammonti. Lemieux tried to pass. Sakic tries to get it taken to the boards with authority by Ammonti. Great action. 9:50 left second period, and both teams have but one goal. Lindros in. It's Chelios, but the follow-up from Shanahan to the slot. Sakic's shot was kicked back out by Suter. A 2-on-1. Hustling, or check that, a 2-on-2. Scott Young got it over to Ammonti. Deliberately to Suter, and his shot was smothered by Sakic. Now Sakic bringing it ahead. Joe Sakic picks up help from Shanahan. Got it to him. Shanahan's backhander was deflected away by D.Hatcher. Hatcher rolls it out. Oh, man, was he ever taken out by Lindros.
Oh, man. Sakic and Lindros getting away with him.
Hall a shot high off of Joseph, and the rebound popped wide of the net.
Hatcher's back up, right back in the play. He is having some night head-to-head with Lindros.
Mercy, here's Leach moving. Leach around behind. Leach controlling, looking for help. Got it around behind, out in front. A shot by Hull is saved. Another shot knocked down. Hull again, and he fed the point. D.Hatcher a shot. Chopped out at the front, but taken by Aiserman. Steve Aiserman for Canada. Boy, this action won't stop here. Sakic moving in. The pass went through Aiserman. Follow up from Desjardins, and a save by Richter. And a stoppage of play.
I think there's too many men on the ice. It could be a penalty. Too many men on the ice.
Against Canada. We'll be back.
This year, Dallas Stars season
Will serve the minor penalty to Team Canada. Shots 8-4 Team USA in this period. And there's too many players on the ice for Canada. We saw 3 red jerseys there. There's a 4th. There's a 5th. The goalie's 6. I saw 6. They're saying there was 7. However, the call was made. This is Lindros on Hatcher. Hatcher actually went to duck the play and took the smack of the stick right across his face. More of an accident. I don't think Lindros was hunting up high when Hatcher ducked. That's why he got himself into trouble. Fosettt, the referee, let that go. However, it's still a USA power play. Too many men on the ice for Team Canada. You know, with all that action, Mike, I mean, I felt you had to come up for air there. It was just unbelievable. But again, it's line changes and defense changes that have to be made smartly from the bench. Plays 2-on-1 shorthanded, yet they haven't scored shorthanded.
Gréйvz and Messier for Canada up front. It'll be Stevens to work it back with Eric Desjardins. LaFontaine and Modano and Chelios and Tkachuk and Gary Suter. It is Tkachuk. Wrapped around. Gréйvz couldn't play it further. Desjardins will try. Worked over by Tkachuk's stick. It flew over near LaFontaine. Needing time, didn't get it. It's pumped back out. And so Gary Suter turns to play. On the turning stick of Chelios. Suter had trouble. Gréйvz took it away. Chelios took care of him, and Richter has to come out and one-handedly plays it on to Suter. 50 seconds gone on the power play. At LaFontaine tried to work it through, and that failed. So again, Richter out of the goal. Chelios takes. Trying to get loose was Brindamor to knock it away. Now Brett Hull. 52 to go on the power play. Oh, and a crazy bounce off a glass support. Again, flipped along for Brett Hull. Allows it to go to Leclere. John Leclere to Hull. Spun it back to the point. Chelios able to keep. Hands it over to Suter. Suter, wrist shot, deflected on. It went just wide. The deflection by John Leclere. Chelios to Suter again. Flips one in front. Save made by Joseph. Taken away by Hull. Down to the last 27 of the power play. Along now for Leclere. Tried it behind, but a good hit by Blake on Smolинski. And it's cleared back down by Canada.
You ask any goaltender in any league, soft, slow shots from the blue line are hard to stop because they can be deflected easily. And Team USA took a couple of wrist shots from the blue line that ended up being deflected.
Leclere shoots, deflected wide off the foot of Adam Foote. Smolинski hit by Lindros. Now it's Leclere in front. A backhander is saved by Joseph. Smolинski a shot, and that one turned aside. And it's nice keep at the point by Suter. Pucked up for grabs. The teams are back at full strength. Wrapped on around now and fed back to Leach. Here's Leach at the point. Over to D.Hatcher, and the shot was snuffed out by Sakic. On, good keep. Now it's across to Amonti. To D.Hatcher, he scores! Man, oh man!
The first lead of the game for Team USA. Team Canada was thinking breakaway. Sakic tried to hit Lindros, but it was kept in the zone at the blue line. And baby, what a goal this is. D.Hatcher gets his second goal of the game. Look at Sakic. Backhand pass through the middle. It's kept in by Hatcher. It would have been a breakaway. Now look at this pass by Tony Ammonti and the finish up top. Curtis Joseph with no chance. Lindros is close to a breakaway. Watch this. Right here. Breakaway? No. D.Hatcher now goes to the net. Bullseye pass. Great finish. 2-1. Team USA. 2 goals for Hatcher. Their first lead.
6 minutes to play in the second period. Lindros with a goal for Canada, followed by 2 by D.Hatcher, a guy who entered the game tonight with no points at all. Ammonti gets 1 assist and Brian Leach the other. The time of the goal, 13:51. Now it's fed to Grettzky, and his chop went off a stick high. Matthew Schneider was the guy who had the stick. Now it's Otto ahead for Team USA. Little pass across that's jammed back in by Young, and then he's hit hard by Stevens. Joseph sweeps it the other way. It is outletted by Linden, up the wing for Dom Foos, moving ahead with Grettzky. Dom Foos controlling, had it knifed away at the line by Schneider. Bouncing puck over to Mike Modano. Modano walks ahead for Team USA. Unable to get by the defense. Good play by Niedermeyer, who starts it back in the skates of Gréйvz. Tried to return to Niedermeyer, got it there, but then the U.S. just outmanned. It is Madonna with a pass that went through and all the way back down for an icing touch-up.
Shots in the first period were 11-5 Canada. In the second period, it's 11-5 Team USA. What a...
We'll be live with Jim Fox. Feature on Т.Флери, the hero of the game against Sweden. Highlights and more.
You know, the goal that Fleury scored late in double overtime to knock Sweden out and for Canada to advance here. He was skating up ice. Coffey had the puck, and the bench was yelling at Fleury to change, to get off the ice. He stayed on the ice and ended up scoring the goal. So, a little insubordination there that worked.
He didn't get here with those disadvantages by being a small guy that followed orders all the time, did he? Chelios went down, and it's worked ahead by Guerin over to Madonna. Play broken down at the line, though. Eric Lindros back now to Blake, nearly handcuffed him. It's Chelios the other way, off of Tkachuk. Mike Madonna fed it across, and it was tipped away. Bill Guerin was trying to play it, but it hopped away. Now Sakic in a 3-on-2, bringing it on to Lindros. Drops to Shanahan, and a save, and it's swept away by Suter. Good setup for Canada. Now Bill Guerin sees the puck fly by.
See those wide passes again, Mike? Every pass up ice for Team USA. They're long, cross-ice, diagonal passes, so Team USA can use their speed. What a difference it's made.
Lindros gets it back. What a shot, and a save made by Richter. D.Hatcher put it back out. He had quite an exchange back down the ice with Messier, who's now helmetless. It is dropped on by Leclere, but knifed away from Hull. D.Hatcher wants to play, but it's Messier ahead. Big drive, and it's off the tip of the glove of Richter. Jammed on along. Messier trying to control. Hit by Hatcher. The puck knocked loose, and Hatcher again, and it's fed back out by Brett Hull. Furious action here in the second period. Team USA ahead by a score of 2-1. Lindros, expected to score in this series, has won for Canada tonight. D.Hatcher, not counted on for that, but counted on for physical play, has both goals for Team USA.
And some physical play on top of it, Mike.
Indeed he does. We understand that Kevin and Darian's father from Detroit is here watching tonight. My goodness, he'd be proud just to be here watching his sons play in an important game like this, let alone seeing one of them get 2 goals. The puck ricocheted out of play. The hits are 21-19 in favor of Team USA.
He mentioned conscious effort by Canada to clog up that neutral zone. They did not do it. USA's first goal, it wasn't a stick-to-stick pass. It was off the boards. It's backing Canada off, and they're building up all kinds of speed. It's been night and day, first period to second period.
Well, they have 18 minutes to change things up during the intermission. Canada will have the same 18 to work with as Team USA after the LaFontaine. Pat LaFontaine to Deadmarsh. Nice little pass ahead to D.Hatcher. Hatcher run off by Stevens. Didn't get much of it, but good body position. Now it's Otto along for LaFontaine. Able to nudge it on back to D.Hatcher. Across to Leach for a shot that's deflected away by Brindamour, and it popped back out in front. No one can get it just yet. D.Hatcher able to play it along. It is Deadmarsh connecting. That return pass came back off of Deadmarsh, and now Canada starts it ahead. They've got a 3-on-2, maybe a 4. Casual pass. Leach lifts it out. Team USA bringing it on. Madonna left it behind, but it's taken by Deadmarsh. 1:25 to go in the second period. Team USA by 1. It is Madonna looking for Deadmarsh. Fed it to Chelios, and he rocketed it off the glass. Now Lindros starts it back out for Rod Brindamour, hustling ahead. Brindamour moving in. Over to Shanahan looking for a pass, but it's away from Lindros.
Well, those trailers for Team USA, the defenseman moving in late, getting all kinds of scoring chances.
Oh, Coffey couldn't get it. Back out they come. It's a 3-on-2. Madonna hands it on over to Keith Tkachuk. Moving to the slot, fires, and it's deflected into Paul Coffey. And he's able to hang on.
And he's on top of the puck in the goal crease. He has to give it to the goaltender, or else it's a penalty shot. Great action again. It just continues and continues and continues with less than a minute to go in the second period. We've seen some great efforts. Team USA's defense jumping into the play has made a big difference, obviously, with D.Hatcher getting 2 goals. Watch here. This is Tkachuk. The shot goes through. There's Coffey trying to find it. It's actually in his equipment. Then it drops down. You see Curtis Joseph helping him out, so there's no penalty shot. Chelios again moved in on the play and missed the net. He's done that at least twice that we know of through the first 2 periods. Here's a look at it. A big boomer that actually goes wide of Curtis Joseph. Their defense not marked at all, not covered at all when they move in. That's been a real problem for Canada here in the second period.
47 to go. Adam Gräйvz from the New York Rangers to teammate Mark Messier for Canada. Messier moving in. He has Lemieux in front. Score! Canada has tied the game. A toss to the front by Messier. Lemieux was at the side of the net. And in the last 39 seconds of the second period, we're back even.
And there's some Canadian flags here too. Lemieux, I think, knocked the puck out of midair when he scored the goal on the play. In fact, I think he broke a stick in half when he scored the goal. Messier went wide. Messier's been a power in this game. Look how he beat the defenseman Schneider to keep the play alive. Hatcher moves across, so both defensemen on one side, and you can see where Scott Young did a nice job coming back with Lemieux. He did the right thing. You pick your man up, stay with him. But the Lemieux, Young, Richter, and the puck all arrived at the same time, and Lemieux knocked the puck in.
Lemieux gets the goal.
It is not to be a goal. So they're now going upstairs to check it out, I think, Mike. Now Lemieux has Young on him. Let's watch the whole play. Young is with Lemieux. Lemieux was in the crease before the puck got there. That may be disallowed in watching that. I don't think Scott Young pushed Lemieux into the crease. I think he went there on his own. No, it's allowed. They're saying it is allowed. They must say that everything arrived at the same time with their view. They have a view up top. They got views from behind. They got views everywhere. There's Lemieux. Now, maybe they're saying he's pushed in by Scott Young. However, it's allowed, and we're tied up at 2.
The replay official cannot call for that himself. That must be the on-ice official requesting a review. Apparently, Mark Fossetт was convinced enough by Team USA members to have it looked at. But the goal stands. Messier and Gräйvz the assist at 19:21.
I think in a game of this magnitude, why not use video replay? And what it does when the decision's made upstairs with all their angles and 2 or 3 people making the decision, it calms everybody down on the ice surface. The goal's allowed, everybody's relaxed, and everybody goes forward.
Well, in the old days prior to review, you can remember how teams would be thrown off for the rest of the game on a controversial call.
Absolutely.
Would never be back again.
And we're tied up at 2 with 30.3 to go. Joel Otto is a good defensive centerman on the ice now to take the draw against Sakic. Sakic has been Canada's best face-off man through the tournament. That's what their stats tell them.
But this time Otto prevails. D.Hatcher hands it behind. 25 left. These teams are going to need a rest. So are we. So are you. We hope you're enjoying this one. Boy, we sure are. We're down to the last 12 of the period. Leach with a shot that ricocheted off Blake. Blake rolling it around behind. Niedermeyer there. Niedermeyer shanked one that skipped back down. 2 seconds and 1. That's it. Splendid action for 40 minutes. The shots are 19-16 Canada. In that period, 11-8 USA. But the most important stat of all is that one. Tied. Nor power plays. Claude Lemieux got his first goal of this tournament late in the second period.
Again, we should mention that there was a review upstairs on the goal. It was called for by the people upstairs. They wanted to know if Claude knocked the puck in with his hand. They said from upstairs in their view that the puck went off the goaltender Mike Richter, so the goal was allowed to stand. The question about Claude being in the crease before the puck got there is something that the referee would have to question, and he would call upstairs for a review. The people upstairs were telling me when I went and talked to them about Lemieux, Young, the goalie, the puck had all arrived at the same time, so that was the feeling there. But if the referee had a question, he has to call upstairs on that particular play. So everybody seemed to be satisfied with the referee's decision, the video replay's decision, and we move on with a 2-2 game starting the third period.
No carryover penalties nor power plays, and we are underway with Desjardins taken out by Adam Deadmarsh. Moving in is Joel Otto, trying to work his way by Philadelphia teammate Eric Desjardins. The puck nudged back down, and it'll be Leach to play. Brian Leach, captain of Team USA. On now for D.Hatcher and then Deadmarsh, but instead Scott Stevens. Stevens turns, banked it back off. Deadmarsh's toss hit Brindamor's stick. Desjardins bringing it on again, laying it softly in. A shift change now for both teams. 40 seconds into the third period. Lindros and Lemieux with goals sandwiched around a pair by D.Hatcher in this 2-2 tie. First game of the best of 3. Game 2 in 2 nights in Montreal if necessary. Game 3 Saturday in Montreal. Lindros a pass that hopped off Sakic's stick, swept away by Chelios. Team USA shifts to offense. Moving ahead is Scott Young. Rolled it in deep. Young burrows in to play it with Claude Lemieux, and they cancel. It's forced along, but right near Doug Waite. Waite controlling. Trying to work it to Young, but that's spiked away by the defense. Pinching in a Suter, but it's worked away in a 2-on-1. A pass comes on across to Sakic. A shot is saved by Richter. Sakic and Claude Lemieux moved in on a 2-on-1, and Sakic fired it, but Richter made the stop. Good control by Sakic, and then he goes down. It's back to the point, and Stevens a shot. It hit a leg in front, the leg of Lindros.
Mike Sakic was going to the bench for a change. Messier was already on the ice. Sakic saw the moment, stayed on the ice, and got the 2-on-1. Canada almost with too many men on the ice.
That occurred once earlier, and they were caught by Kevin Collins, the linesman, on that time. Puck flipped along by Kevin Hatcher. Battling for it as Shanahan nudged it on back. Gréйvz helped it to the point. Coffey shot directed right away by Mike Richter. It went through Blake. Bill Guerin trying to get in. It is Joseph wrapping it on around further. Helped along by Modano, but instead played out by Scott Niedermayer. Pass came ahead for Adam Gréйvz. Nicely knocked away by Modano. Messier worked along the boards by Bill Guerin in a stalemate. 2:20 gone. Third period game.
More of a skill level, and we're seeing it right here in tonight's action. This has been just super to watch.
All the 7- and 8-year-olds watching the Olympics in 1980 are now playing in 96, and some of them playing for Team USA, and one of them with the puck right now is Brian Leetch. They all knew where they were the day Eruzione scored late in the third. Ahead now comes Smolинski. Across for a rising shot that got the glass. Turned along by Leetch. Jammed back out, and up with that to spin it back along was John Leclere. Now they set it again. Smolинski can't get a pass away because of Desjardins. Wayne Grettzky lobs it back in. Centered across the net, mouth wide from Trevor Linden. Now it's Linden around behind. Out in front, and Dalfusa's shot is kicked back out by Richter. Good opportunity.
Team Canada, again, Team USA going through the middle more. They had more success when they took the puck wide, like right here.
Joel Otto could not get in. Mark Messier takes over, hands it back over, but it's left behind by Gréйvz. Now Doug Waite will blast it back. Read by Blake. 15:40 to go in the third period as Blake softly played it in. Chris Chelios back to take that on defense. Matched up with Gary Suter. Doug Waite takes this one in neutral ice. Waite moving ahead with Deadmarsh. Wrist one, and it's grabbed by Joseph and shunted aside for Claude Lemieux. Lemieux takes it back again. Claude Lemieux, who tied this game, threw that one off the defense of Suter. He and Suter cross sticks along the boards and talk with one another. Meanwhile, it's Scott Stevens leaving it for a moment, then recovering to play to Messier. Messier peeled away from one. Got the pass across. Dalfusa shot. Answered by Richter's pad. And it's turned aside. Oh, has Mike Richter been a strong goalie in this period? The shots are 5-1 Canada. It's pitched over Richter to the glass. Chelios to Suter. Suter on across to Waite. Tried for Tkachuk, but across 2 lines, and the clock is stopped. A hard battle through 45 minutes. 4 to go in the third period. Glenn Sather's running his bench with 3 lines going and going a lot. We're not seeing Aiserman, Brindamour, or Fleury that much. In fact, we haven't seen them, I don't think, here in the third period. 3 lines. Grettzky, Messier, Lindros, Sakic. The more ice time they get, the better they play. Team USA going with 4 lines and their 6 defensemen. They're keeping the rotation going. So Team USA using more players. Scott Stevens takes over for Canada, hands up to Lindros. Lindros trying to dangle it a bit, gets it to Sakic, dealt one across, oh, and a shot by Shanahan. Was blocked by Richter, and then he was looking around, but he had help. That's a brilliant save. That's a great shot and a brilliant save. Lindros, the big train goes to the net. D.Hatcher, the big defenseman, stays with him. But it seems as though everybody got all together there, and Shanahan came in and got the puck and had a great shot. Patient play. Look at Lindros. He's got 3 guys around him, and now you see Sakic, and then you'll see even a better play from Sakic as he moves the puck back the other way. Great shot by Shanahan.
He's very similar to Brett Hull. He finds open ice. He's a right-handed shot. I was on the left side of the ice, yet he shoots the puck off the pass. He doesn't stop at first. Mike Richter just made one gigantic save for Team USA, who happened to be getting outshot now 6-1 here in the third period. That's a great save.
And outchanced 5-0. Puck fed along in traffic. It flopped away from Foote. Striding for it is Ammonti, but canceled out by Coffey's pass. Chopped back in and an offside. 14:02 to go in the third. 2 nights from now, John and I and Jim Fox will have the pleasure of being at the Molson Center in Montreal for Game 2. And on that night, Canada will be the home team, and Team USA will have to make the first line change.
If it goes 3 games, which will be Saturday night in Montreal, Team USA will be the home team. So the advantage, if it does go 3 games regarding home ice and last line change, etc., will go to Team USA.
Trevor Linden walking it on. Got it over for Dom Foose. Sent it over for Grettzky. Oh, he saw Linden open and tried to get it there. That opening closed pretty fast because of Brian Smolinski's work with a stick. 25-17 the shots. Team Canada in the lead in that department. We've got a skirmish back in neutral ice between Matthew Schneider and Adam Foote.
Schneider moved up to not allow Grettzky any time, and he got right in the face of Wayne Grettzky. And I think right there, Foote moved across to make a statement on behalf of his club. And if you bump Grettzky, we'll stick around and see what happens. So both Foote and Schneider, 2 real good defensemen, get themselves 2 minutes. Grettzky was forced quickly. You can't give him time with the puck or he'll make things happen. There's Schneider right in his face. Bang, look at Foote move right over. It's like a big watchdog. And Kevin Collins, the linesman, does a good job breaking those 2 up, and they get 2 minutes apiece. Roughing the call to the two players, pardon me.
Time elapsed in the period 6:28. Team USA was protesting the location of the face-off, which will be down in their defensive end. Initially, Ray Scapanello had signaled icing. I believe that had been waved off at the same time that they had to deal with the skirmish at center ice.
It was waved off because Matthew Schneider played the player instead of the puck when it was moved up ice, so that's why they waved it off. So now we have Messier against Patty LaFontaine for the draw. 4 skaters apiece. LaFontaine talking to Chelios and Suter to get them organized. When you haven't played with these players a whole lot, you've got to have your players where you want them. So they took a defenseman off the boards, put Scott Young there, and made sure they've got 2 defensemen in front of their goal, Suter and Chelios.
Messier, nice clean face-off win, and Lemieux fanned on the pass. And so twisting with it is Chelios. Both teams a man short. Nearing the middle stages of the third period in this tight 2-2 tie. Nice work by Scott Young. Backhander in front, and it kicked off skates and went wide. Pat LaFontaine went down to the ice. And it is Lemieux bouncing it back in wide. Gary Suter in, closed off Messier. Young trying to dig it free. Suter passed one through that nearly caused a problem for Young, but now he's able to one-hand it on. Nice twisting, turning acceptance of that pass by Chelios, and he put it back in. Teams are in the midst of a change. Chelios not able to get to the bench yet. Hung up for a moment by Eric Desjardins. Meanwhile, the puck taken by Leach. Brian Leach with a pass that misfired for Hull. Now Blake. Sakic and Blake. 55 left on the 4-on-4. Bounced in. Richter swung it away. Bounced over to Stevens. Tried to get it to the front. Brett Hull starts it back. Hull trying to work his way past Theo Fleury. Hull trying to get by Desjardins. Tried to muscle it in front, but it was blocked. Now taken by Doug Waite. Back to the point. Big drive by Darian Hatcher. Rebound. It's saved by Joseph. Big Darian going for the hat. But the game is still tied at 2 apiece.
Shift by Brett Hull. 2 men on him. Now watch him drive to the net. He gets closed off, right? You think he's out of the play, right? He's behind the goalie, right? Watch him go to the net here. Shot. He tries a deflection, gets the rebound shot, and Curtis Joseph with a fine save on the rebound. Brett Hull is dangerous without the puck in the offensive zone because he knows where to go. His timing's great, and the puck seems to find him.
Joel Otto to take the draw with Messier. Messier winning another important draw for Canada. Scott Stevens hands it on to Desjardins, then out to Wayne Grettzky. Grettzky and Messier connect on a pass. Messier moving in. Desjardins breaking. Messier trying to fiddle away from Leach on the boards. 15 seconds to go on the 4-on-4. Joel Otto stole it away. On for Detmarsh, but it's punched on across. Darian Hatcher leads it ahead. Just plays it gently back in. Curtis Joseph there turned it away from the on-rushing winger, and it's back near Leach, who's able to hook it away to Darian Hatcher. Foot fresh from the box, and Schneider is out too.
Every time USA heads up ice with a puck-thinking offense, Canada's got forwards back helping the defense. They're really conscious about having their third forward back, something that the Team USA club has been good at in this tournament.
Lindros had it knocked away, but in front to Lindros, tries to get by Richter and can't. Wonderful move by Lindros, but an even more sparkling move by Mike Richter. Pass off the tip of the stick of Amonti. Chopped on ahead, back in, and oh, what a heavy hit applied by Adam Foote on John Leclerc. The battle's still on. Amonti. Coffey on him. Taken by Smolинski. Hooked on back, but again it's Coffey. Sailing it as far as center ice. Picked off there by Gary Suter and lobbed back in. Oh, this has been terrific. 10 minutes and 35 seconds to go in the third period. The game tied at 2. The chant is back. Chelios back to take it. Back to neutral ice and Blake.
Still the story here in the third period has been Mike Richter. He's made at least 3, maybe 4 sensational saves. The last one on Lindros. He has been there for his club here in the third period.
Here comes Theo Fleury, and Fleury got by, hooked, and he scores! Theo Fleury has broken the tie!
It's Wayne Gretzky's wife, Janet, looking on. Fleury went wide, scored on the short side on Mike Richter. Fleury, along with Aiserman, not getting much ice time, and along with Brindamour too. The three of them watching a lot, yet he gets off the bench, and with all that energy, he makes it happen. Turnover in the neutral zone leads to the nice pass across. As you'll see, Brindamour actually was stood up. Now Fleury just darts in and gets the puck, goes around Gary Suter. He takes 2 slashes and uses the reach and the smarts to go around Mike Richter. Canada leads 3-2 with 10:02 to go in the third period. He had very little room to jam it in on the short side. I think Richter expected Fleury to go to Richter's right, to Fleury's left. And I think Fleury fooled everybody, stayed strong with his legs wide, and got the go-ahead goal.
Brindamour gets the lone assist on Fleury's goal that has broken the tie. Sakic sends it back in, and it comes along near Lindros. The shots are 7-3 in this period, and now Canada has the advantage of a lead to go along with the stats that they've won. Drop to the corner, and Schneider. Matthew Schneider's pass has to be controlled and is thrown out by Darian Hatcher. Worked on further. Eric Lindros has that for Canada. Flies it back across. It stays in the playing area and has to be handled by Modano. Worked over by Sakic, drops it back further. Matthew Schneider there, back over to Kevin Hatcher. Hatcher tried to blast one. It's deflected to the corner by Blake. Tkachuk ties. It's swept along, but must be played and neutralized by Darian Hatcher.
John Leclerc has gone to Team USA's locker room with a skate problem. He'll be back as soon as possible.
Rob Blake flings it back in. Richter watches as Darian Hatcher plays. Shoved off by Fleury, but he recovers. Now Fleury jabbed it loose. On over to Adam Gräйvz. Centered one that's tipped back out. Hustling for it is Detmarsh. Just interfered with enough by Scott Stevens that it can be a clean play for Desjardins. Chip back out by Fleury and down. No icing on this. Darian Hatcher plays as the clock ticks down to the final 8.5 of the third. Canada leading Team USA 3-2. A bouncer in on Curtis Joseph. Desjardins kicked it. Domfus played it out. Suter with it there. Gary Suter for Team USA. Last on for Modano, fresh from the bench to Chelios. Nice turn with it. Chris Chelios crossing. Couldn't get the pass across as it was blocked off, and now here comes Trevor Linden. He's got Desjardins moving with him, and Grettzky in the Hatcher. Joseph stops it behind. 7:45 to go, third period. Smolинski chopped one. Went off of Amonti. He still battles. It's intercepted by Smolинski, moving back in. His drive and a save made by Joseph on that. Punch back to the point. Schneider there. Flip one that's knifed out of the air by Kevin Hatcher. This will be an offside delay. And now as Team USA is out, play continues. Eric Lindros moving up the wing. His team ahead by one. Lindros took a high hit and just shrugged it off. Lindros is there. Fed one, and it's shanked wide by Adam Gрэйvz. The shots are now 7-6 Canada in the third. They lead by one. Schneider angles it back in. Paul Coffey on the read. Coffey banked it back up the glass. Claude Lemieux took it there. Run off by Darian Hatcher. Puck turned over to Team USA, but flung away from Hull. 6:50. And Schneider. Darian Hatcher and Hull. Too far for Scott Young. Niedermeyer. And back out for Gрэйvz. And Gрэйvz lobs it back to the Darian Hatcher corner and comes to the bench obediently for a shift change.
Team USA has to think, take the puck wide and get their defense in on the rush. Darian Hatcher has their 2 goals. The U.S. forwards have yet to score. They need to get their defensemen in on the play offensively.
It is Niedermeyer, smoked out by the forechecking of Lecler. Worked across to Blake. Chelios. 6:10 to go in the third period. Off of Leclerc's stick. Blake tried to angle it back. Hung up in the linesman's skates and played by Grettzky to the slot. Oh, and Domfus was run to the ditch. The big hit by Bill Guerin. The puck to Madonna. Hooked it in on goal, and Joseph covers and play is stopped. 5:51 to go in the third. It's Canada still by one.
Eric Lindros on the puck. Schneider tries to hit him and hit him hard, hit him high, and watch the strength. Lindros knocks Schneider down, then he uses his left arm to keep Kevin Hatcher away, and then he set up Adam Gрэйvz for the shot that went wide. We've seen the big players play big in this game. Lindros for Team Canada, the biggest forward of any player on the actually the biggest player of any player on the ice. John Leclerc goes 210 for his club.
Back near Suter, kept it alive. Big shot, and that one sailed wide. So Suter plays to Chelios.
It's one of the few defensive zone draws that Messier hasn't taken. And on that occasion, Team USA controlled the draw and had the scoring chance.
Boy, Kachuk with a rocket. But it is Chelios. Gary Suter. Swept back in by Shanahan. Blocked the enemy of Team USA. 5:20 and it's moving.
Team Canada's shifts very short. That's something the coaches were upset with. Much too long in previous games. They're 40-45 seconds here in this game. You have to be disciplined in a game of this magnitude, in a game that's this close.
Joe Sakic wedges it back, and it's Chelios. Over to Suter. And Suter lobs it back. Waffle boarded down by Joseph, sent on to Fleury, nudged ahead for Messier, and he lobbed it back in.
Fleury has replaced now Claude Lemieux, and 2 of the last 3 shifts Lemieux was to have on the Messier line. I think Team Canada just feels that Fleury's fresh.
Here's Tony Ammonti, check, still battling for the puck. He and Adam Foote contesting, and it's thrown along by Messier, but it hit the back of the goal. And here's Leclerc in front, save made by Joseph. Oh, John Leclerc with a spinning move, but he couldn't get it past Joseph. Now back for Ammonti, but it's checked away from him. The follow-up by Schneider has to tuck it back deeper, forced off by Fleury. So Ammonti drifting behind with 4:10 to go. Spirited a pass on. It's lobbed back out once more by Hull. Played back across and lifted back in over the shoulder of Schneider. Wayne Grettzky moving in on him. Matthew Schneider had it stolen by Grettzky. Oh, and he tried for Domfus, but it's flagged down and started ahead. Brad Hall controlling. Wrist shot is deflected high and off the glass. Tony Ammonti tried to center. Still battling in the corner. Puck squibbed loose and Blake tried to hurry it ahead. They don't get it out just yet. Down to the ice on a lean of Ammonti went Niedermeyer. Ammonti spirits it around the corner boards, but it's Grettzki taking it and pitching it along to Trevor Linden. Canada able to bring it back out with under 3.5 to play. Grettzki spun it back in. The bouncer on Mike Richter taps it along now to Leach.
The last 3.5 minutes, Team USA's had one shot on goal. That was that wraparound try by Lecler.
Offside, stops the clock. An angry Bill Guerin slams the puck to the boards and challenges Lemieux. Play stopped. We'll be back.
Some of the most admired cars you'll see are owned by the guys who know cars.
The magical mind of John Leclere banks the puck off the boards. That got rid of the defenseman Coffey. But there's Cujo, Curtis Joseph with the save. The only shot that Team USA has had in nearly the last 4 minutes of play. They need offense. They trail by 1. We have 3:14 to go in the third period.
Desjardins to Stevens. And back down. LaFontaine playing along with Mike Modano and also Keith Tkachuk. Leach and that big man, D.Hatcher on defense for Team USA. Lindros and Sakic working up front. Also out of Shanahan. It's played off Shanahan, blasted along by Modano, but read by Sakic. Works it along for Eric Lindros. 2:40 to go as of right now.
Let's watch this breakout. Team USA is running into Team Canada clogging the middle. Look at all the red jerseys in the middle.
Lemieux tried to flip it ahead. Modano flipped one off the shank of the stick of LaFontaine. Joseph sets, Stevens takes. Off the boards, taken by Messier. Messier for Canada. Lemieux couldn't reach, played it on the bounce, but fanned. Spike back in, and Messier will be the first one there. Mark Messier around behind. Messier trying to shake away from Modano. To Coffey, oh, and a shot that Richter got a piece of with his pad. Gрэйvz and back in, and 2 minutes to go.
Frustrating for Team USA. They have the puck again. They'll challenge the breakout. Here they try to go wide. And we have the linesman blowing the whistle here. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure why.
I didn't notice any kind of a delayed offside going on.
We've got Mark Fossetт going over to Team U. Oh, Mark Fossett's been injured. I see. No wonder we couldn't figure it out. He's been flipped up high, and it looks like he's gone over to the...
Richter for Chelios. Interrupt me if you need to for calling Richter off the ice, John. Moving ahead now is Leach. Leach, a pass that went through Hull back down. Short of icing, taken by Desjardins. Clock ticking down to the final minute of regulation time, and a keep in by Leach. Feeds it on for Hull, but it trickled through. At the bench now is Richter. The puck picked up by Messier. Can't get out of the zone. The net is empty. Desjardins hurries it along, but it's Doug Wade up with it. Wait for Team USA. Blast it back in, and they pour after it. It went off of Tkachuk. Around to the corner board, swept past Leach and down the ice. There will be an icing call. Chelios striding back to hurry to touch. 36.1 to go.
Timeouts available to both teams, one apiece. Strategy now very important. Team USA got the puck deep, but they could never recover. Team Canada's defense has been maligned going into the tournament and maligned during the tournament. They have not allowed the U.S. club a goal by the U.S. forwards in this game. Now it comes down to a big face-off to the right side of Curtis Joseph. Shanahan was moving into the zone. Smolинski picks him off, and Shanahan, as you said, Mike, bulldogs Team USA player. Not a scoring chance taken away. Fossetт, the referee, is not going to make a penalty call unless it's a scoring chance.
Kerry Fraser is waiting in the corner boards there, right behind the glass, in the event that he's called upon. Meanwhile, during this timeout, Mark Fossetт is chatting with his partners, Ray Scapinello and Kevin Collins.
Yeah, how many fingers? 3? I shouldn't say that. It just looked like Kevin was, showing the fingers up there.
Yeah.
No, Mark Fossetт showing a lot of courage here to hang in, and he has had an extremely strong game. Kerry Fraser, of course, ready, along with Gord Brosiger, another linesman to the right side.
36.1 to go.
Mark Fossettt right now is looking down the ice, looking for his tooth. He was just looking at the area where he got hit, trying to find the tooth that's missing. So here we go. Mark Messier will take the draw for Team Canada. The fans standing and applauding Team USA. They need a goal to tie this thing up.
Chelios and Leach will be back near the blue line. Pat LaFontaine will have to take it opposite Mark Messier. Hall is out, and so is Leclerc, and so is Waite. One false start. LaFontaine is out. Doug Waite is in against Messier. From the tie-up to the corner, Messier lifts it back out to the last 30 seconds. Lemieux battling. Team USA trying to lift it in, can't do it. It's off Lemieux's stick and slugged all the way back down the ice. There'll be another icing. Waite striding back to get the touch-up of it, and does, with 19.9 to go.
The strength of Mark Messier. He had to go against LaFontaine. LaFontaine was thrown out. They put Doug Waite in there. When the puck was dropped, Messier's strength almost knocked the stick right out of the hands of Doug Waite. Look at Waite. He had one hand knocked right off the stick with the strength of Mark Messier. Look at the hands of the centerman in white. Look at that. Messier's strength knocked Waite's hand right off the stick, and Team Canada controlled the draw. Here we go again. A bigger centerman now. Otto against Messier. That makes some sense.
Old days, Calgary against Edmonton with these two. A false start. Otto says it was Messier. They'll do it again.
Otto loves to get his head low, almost bang heads with the other centerman.
Off the tie-up. It's kept by Chelios, and a shot knocked down. 16 to go, and it's laid back out again. Striding back is Leach as the puck goes wide of the net, and another icing against Canada. 9.8 left.
And Leach wants to hustle back to knock time without allowing the clock to tick away, but he doesn't want to get there too fast because he still wants an icing. That time, Otto and Messier went at one another, but Team Canada got to all the loose pucks and finally worked the puck out of the zone. Now we have the third face-off in the last 40 seconds to the right side, the near side of Curtis Joseph. And again, Messier goes. Again, it's against Otto. If there's a neutral face-off, the other players have to get in and find the loose puck. Canada is now looking at USA with all the players up except for Chelios.
Kachuk and Leclerc with Otto. Leach and Chelios at the back. Leach is pulled in at the edge of the circle.
Messier got tossed. They don't have another natural centerman. Gрэйvz does take draws, but not nearly as many as Messier.
One back to Leach and a save. Joseph rebound. Score!
Joel Otto found a way to win the faceoff. There was a shot, Curtis Joseph the rebound, and with Team USA driving to the net, the goal scored. Leach with the shot, it's high, it's loose. Kachuk will get the goal as he shuffled it in underneath the goalie, Curtis Joseph. Now does it go in off Team Canada or Team USA? It doesn't much matter. There's Desjardins, and there's Leclerc, and the puck is over the line. We're tied up at 3 with 6.3 seconds to go.
Unbelievable.
When you get ready for a face-off, if somebody on your team jumps in early before the puck's dropped, your team centerman is thrown out. Messier got thrown out. Gрэйvz took the draw, and Otto, who's so much bigger, won the draw. That led to the Leach shot, who was up on the face-off circle. And man, have they gone crazy in Philadelphia. Another look at the goal. Through the legs, the puck went from Desjardins. Leclerc was the closest player to it. Now Messier's going to take this face-off. Watch who jumps in. Look at that, Lemieux jumped in. Because of Lemieux jumping in, Messier gets thrown out. So they have Gрэйvz and Lemieux. Gрэйvz has taken more face-offs than Lemieux, but he loses to Otto, and we're tied up at 3.
Leclerc lifts, Desjardins blasts, it's wide, and that's it for 60. A 3-3 tie. It will take another period, at least.
Better face-off secondary man in there in case Messier did get tossed out. Adam Gréйvz is pretty good on face-offs, but Joel Otto won that one. We're tied up at 3, and let's go forward. The other thing quickly, Mike, is Kerry Fraser a lot of times will stay in the referee's locker room during a game and ride a stationary bike to stay warm, so he should be prepared for this.
It is Stevens from the face-off. Fraser having relieved Mark Fossetт, minus 4 teeth. And a courageous last-minute 50 for him to finish the regulation time. Puck sped back off and kept by Stevens. Stevens angles and a shot by Shanahan went off the stick of Richter. Played along now to John Leclere. Credited with the tying goal just 7 seconds from the end of regulation. It's flopped back in and Stevens goes to play. But it's off Smolинski. Then it bounced loose and is carried out by Joe Sakic. Sakic wanting to shake by. Lindros in and his shot was dumped. Followed up though by Desjardins and it's trapped by Richter and play is stopped.
And Canada attacks. They attack with Desjardins jumping into the play. A whistle and you can see that D.Hatcher again along with Brian Leetch start against Lindros and Shanahan, 2 big power forwards. And D.Hatcher along with Brian Leetch have been marvelous. They've been on the ice mostly of the 6 defensemen against these big forwards. So Canada attacks early. They don't get the clean shot they wanted, but close to it, very close to it.
Canada's keys were the play of Joseph. Outstanding. The power play, they scored 1 on it and contained the mobile U.S. defense. So, John says. Foot with a shot. Oh, and it went on Chelios, who's down in a heap. And play is stopped.
Chelios was turned, and I don't think saw the shot coming or did not get it on the front side of his body where most of the equipment is. It seemed to catch the back or the side. As tough as he is, you almost have to fracture a bone with him to make sure he doesn't come back. Otherwise, he'll be there. He is one tough guy. And he'll shake it off, and he'll be back. Pain written all over his face. Messier wins the draw. Foot with a low, hard shot. Puck rolling a little bit. Oh, man, it caught the side of Chris Chelios. Talk about mobile U.S. defense. I think Team Canada's done a pretty good job with him. D.Hatcher got the 2 goals, and he's not noted as one of the mobile defensemen that you would expect to get the goal scoring. People like Leetch and Schneider.
U.S. key was to get the first goal. They did speed wide. They've had that, especially later in the game. Have they handled 88 and 94? Well, Lindros has a goal, but overall on the night, what do you think?
Yeah, I think they've done a pretty good job with that. Lindros and his goal was on the power play. Lindros has had 3 shots, but all in the first period.
Strong shot by Scott Young that was stopped by Curtis Joseph. Lemieux flips one, tries to work it further. Doug Waite there, and it's spirited in right on Richter. Kevin Hatcher. Overtime period number 1. First team to score wins, regardless of how long it takes. That one went off the glove of Joseph from Brett Hall's stick. No chance taking by Suter. Canada starts out. Messier across. Lemieux a shot. Blocked away by Richter. Suter lobbed it along. Kachuk to take it there. Weak toss, though. Good body position by Kevin Hatcher to force it over to Young. On now for Waite. And an offside call against Team USA.
You can hear somebody with the what we call the effects mics. There's mics hanging all over the ice surface here, and you can hear the players talk. Somebody was saying play to win, play to win. And I think with the attitude of both these clubs, the great players that they have, very well coached, they won't sit back. They're going to play to win, period. They're going to attack, they're going to go, they're going to work on face-offs. You don't sit back and wait for a chance. You go and try and make it. You develop the play.
Well, you think of the stamina of athletes, guys like Paul Coffey, that he played till 12:40 in the morning here, early Sunday morning. Is that when it was? Yeah, Sunday morning. D.Hatcher with a pass ahead, trying to shake his way in was Modano. Shanahan, but Modano again. Brian Leetch connects back over with D.Hatcher. Tough to pass through, that's taken across 2 lines by Bill Guerin.
D.Hatcher and Brian Leetch on the ice again. Guess who's on the ice for Team Canada? Shanahan and Lindros. As again we mentioned, Shanahan had Lindros 3 shots in the first period, none in the second when started. Leetch and D.Hatcher, Schneider, and along with Kevin Hatcher, those 2 on the ice right now, and then the Chicago connection of Suter along with Chelios.
Face-off wins 5-2. Team USA counting that one in the overtime.
Both teams, I'm sorry, Mike, both teams have all players back for overtime. No one's been injured, at least banged up enough to keep them out of the game.
It is Dom Foos bringing it ahead, handing on now to Stevens. Stevens bumped to the boards. Evan Hatcher did that. Schneider put it back up the wall. Evan Hatcher battling. And a stalemate of 5 players.
And the pace slows a little bit. We're nearly 3 minutes into the first overtime period. Pace slowing. Teams don't want, of course, to get caught out of position. Another quick change by Team USA. Team USA, when you look at face-offs, and we said that the USA club is doing well here in overtime, winning 5 of 7 means they're quite alert. We've only had 3 shots, 2 by Canada, 1 by USA.
Boy, every face-off becomes so important, especially the ones in the offensive zone. Pat Quinn, one of the managers of this team. Bob Caney on the left, Quinn in the middle, and on the right, Andy Murray, an assistant coach. That's with Team Canada.
Andy Murray with the headset talking to the bench. He's telling Mark Crawford on the bench for Team Canada how long the shifts are. If they're too long, they want the players to get off the ice quick.
Darian Hatcher for Leclere. Help comes from Smolinski. It's a 2-on-2, hustling to get back, and doing a good job of that was Sakic. Smolинski flipped one in front that's guided away by the goal stick of Joseph. Kept by Darian Hatcher. Angled around behind Smolинski, couldn't get that. Desjardins had it knocked away but recovered. Along now for Brendan Shanahan. Shanahan glasses it back out. Trying to play as Darian Hatcher, pawing at Sakic, and he one-handed it ahead. Tony Ammonti couldn't get it. Eric Lindros could. Bumped into by Smolинski. Time and space for Darian Hatcher.
3 times.
Smolинski.
3 times. Shanahan and Lindros on the ice in overtime. 3 times Leach and Hatcher go against them.
Messier caught a stick up high. Play continues. It is Lemieux on to Mark Messier. Messier wheeling around behind. Still able to control. Messier back for a shot that bounced loose in front. Loose puck is jammed back out to neutral ice. Oh, a close call there.
And Darian Hatcher can't get off the ice. It's a long skate to the U.S. bench. Now he finally gets over. Finally, and Chelios moves on. He was caught on the ice for a long shift.
A penalty. Gréйvz is down. Doug Waite will be penalized. Fraser is checking.
Overtime power play. Ron Wilson, the coach of Team USA, looks on. Adam Gréйvz still down. Doug Waite will go. Two minutes, high sticking as you see. There was no blood on the play, so it's not termed an injury, which would have been more minutes in the penalty box. So Doug Waite gets the 2 minutes, and here we go. Canada with the power play. Over on the right side, Gréйvz holds up Doug Waite, and then Waite, he raked Adam Gréйvz along the side of the face with the blade of the stick. This is Messier earlier. He took a shot from Smolинski, the tip of the blade accidentally to the jaw. He kept on going. And Kerry Fraser makes the call, the first one in overtime.
The first one that we've had in overtime in the tournament. High sticking at 4:25. Team USA's penalty killers must be splendid. It'll be 2 shifts of them. Otto and Chelios and Suter and Detmarsh. Dom Foos and Grettzky and Lindros. Coffey and Sakic will be the point men once they get it set up. Early stages, sudden death overtime. If you're just joining us, the tie score is 3. John Leclere tied it with under 7 seconds to go. Dom Foos is in, got it to Sakic, save made by Richter. Sakic again dropped it along behind to Dom Foos. Vincent Dom Foos, a backhander, and that one shanked loose by Chelios. Worked back to the point. Paul Coffey there, but into Detmarsh. Thrown around by Dom Foos. Grettzky turning, trying to get out in front, hooked off on the play. Joel Otto there, trying to clear, but it's kept alive at the point by Sakic. Loose puck, fed ahead by Chelios, and on to Detmarsh. Detmarsh deliberately ahead for the short-handed Team USA. Detmarsh fed one across, fading on the shot, out of the air. A tough one was LaFontaine. step away from one and now hands to LaFontaine, and LaFontaine makes them chase. 55 left. Paul Coffey's pass sailed by Grettzki. Grettzki and Leach move in. Grettzki tried to center it, got the back of the goal, and D.Hatcher. Loose puck battled for there. And Team USA has a 3-on-2 while shorthanded. It's Scott Young to LaFontaine to Leach. Getting a piece of it with his stick was Curtis Joseph. Fleury with half a minute to go on Team Canada's power play. Steps from one and moves it back in. The hero against Sweden hands it back to Blake. Wrapped it around, but there to get it is Suter. Cleared back down the ice.
Two best scoring chances, short-handed, go to Team USA. Canada not able to set anything up. They've had one good shot that was on the rush. They have not been able to set up their power play. And again, they won't, as Denmark gets it done.
3 seconds to go. It's fed to Hall, and it's knocked down by the defense. Rob Blake got in the way of that when the teams are back at full strength. One shot on goal and 43 seconds of attack time for Canada. So Chelios goes back to get it. 13:20 to go in the first overtime. The tie score is 3. It's given away to Bриндамор. Then along to Lemieux, and the shot turned aside by Richter with remarkable calm. Both of these goaltenders keep their teams in. It's flown high, and the puck squibs over near Lemieux. Challenges with Schneider, and Schneider fed it behind to Chelios. Chelios turns. It's late in his shift. Denmark cleared one along. Scott Stevens kept the pressure for a moment. Still they battle. Bриндамор. It's worked in deep. Controlled there by Айзерман. Айзерман fed one, and it's shanked away from Bриндамор. Kept alive by Desjardins. Desjardins angles around to Claude Lemieux. Lemieux on to Айзерман again. His shot knocked down by the defense. Айзерман wrapping. Lemieux taking, but he left it behind. That's a tired bunch of Team USA players. Wrapped around now for Hull. Shrugged it down and whipped it back down the ice. Not all the way, but enough to get a change.
Айзерман and Bриндамор fresh. Showed they were fresh. Айзерман didn't play in the third period. He had a great shift. So did Bриндамор, but Team USA did not crack.
Dom Foose moving in. Centered one, and it came back to the point. Scott Stevens moving back in. Dom Foose was trying to connect with Trevor Linden. Puck around behind Grettzki. Feeds it to the back. Kept by Adam Foote. Backhanded wide. It is drilled back off by Smolinski and back down. No icing. Team Canada making a change of defense. 11:50 to go in the first overtime, and this is Grettzki for Canada. Leads ahead to Coffey. Fires! Save Richter! Jammed away, and Grettzki lays it in front. Richter covers. Time is stopped.
Oh, baby, what a pass by Grettzki. Richter does it. Shots are 6-1 Canada in overtime. Paul Coffey darted up the left side, and you call this pass a feather. Grettzki just feathered the puck ahead, and Coffey skated right into it and took the hard, low shot. Richter was right there. Forechecking by Canada, making it happen. They backed Team USA up a little bit here in overtime, and Richter's been there. Again, Coffey, Grettzki, the connection get together. There's a great pass to Grettzki. Watch this little pass to the left side. He just feathers it. Coffey skates into it. There's the big blast from inside the circle. He tried to go through the legs of Mike Richter, and Richter was there. Beautiful pass work. You love it when you see beautiful pass work like that.
You saw Mike Richter play for 8 weeks and win a championship in '94. You've seen him play for 4 weeks now and be in the final. Comparable?
I'm amazed at how quickly both Joseph and Richter have gotten to this top level so early. We're early September, and these two guys are putting shows on.
Oh, a ripper of a shot that went wide from Joe Sakic. Sakic ties with D.Hatcher. To a side, muscling it along the wall. Eric Lindros trying to jam it along. D.Hatcher got it on to Leach. Leach started it back ahead. Chopped that was Keith Tkachuk. Follow-up comes from Leach. Stepped away from one. Leach moving in. Trickled it through. Joseph out to slap it away with a stick. Now it's Tkachuk with it. Centered one in front. Niedermeyer able to retrieve. Giving it on to Shanahan if they hurry in 3-on-2. It's Sakic, but he can't get by. Shanahan plays the hard around, and Richter right there to crash the boards and get it. 9 minutes played. In a spirited sudden death overtime, Canada has outshot Team USA 6-1. M.Messie with a pass that was slowed but got to Niedermeyer, then Lindros for the blast back off the glass. Gary Suter, D.Hatcher, Scott Young, and through. Doug Waite couldn't defended by Stevens. It's slammed back in deeper by Madonna.
The Team USA shot on goal was shorthanded. They have yet to get one at even strength here in overtime. But they have the counter punch. They have their defenseman to jump in. Be very, very dangerous.
Stevens angled one off the glass, then swatted it ahead. It ricocheted on back. Stevens must take it again on defense. Back up to Adam Gräйvz, walled by Chelios. Help came from Hahn. It's up to Claude Lemieux. Lemieux trying to pull his way around and taken out of the play and rocked to the boards and glass by Suter. Now it's Brindamor. Brindamor around behind, tried to get it to the front, but watching the front of the goal was Bill Garrett. It punched back to the point and threw Stevens and back down. Trying to get by is Scott Young. Arriving first is Aiserman to Stevens and then back off the hip of the referee. Evan Hatcher led it across and got it back again. Evan Hatcher, huge defenseman, working it ahead, away from the turning John Leclerc. Stevens again, the workhorse, back on defense. Guides it around to Adam Foote. Foote able to play it to Lemieux, and then back out it's Nudge. Little tap ahead by Fleury is on now for Aiserman. Steve Aiserman with a shot! Score! Aiserman in overtime, and Canada has won!
Mike, I thought Richter made the save. I went, oh, what a save that was going to be. The puck went off his glove. Aiserman, Brindamor, and Fleury have hardly played. They're on the ice as a unit in overtime, and on their 7th shot in outshooting Team USA 7-1. The shot by Aiserman goes in, the second game-winning goal of the tournament. He went wide, he went high to the catching glove side, and Richter, I thought, had made the save. I was going, oh, what a save that was. Brindamor, Fleury, and Aiserman. They've hardly played. They're fresh. We saw it last time Aiserman and Brindamor were on the ice. Watch him go wide and snap the shot. Now watch Richter's glove through the screen. I thought he had it. And somehow the puck dropped down, barely over the line as Amonti fished it out. But the puck was over the line. It's 4-3 Canada. The tournament now goes to Montreal. Aiserman used the screen. He reached out with a right-handed shot and flipped the puck. Watch it come down and over the goal line by about 6 inches. I thought at first Mike Richter had made the save.
There you see the bench. Aiserman, who has had